What's up, everybody? Brett here, back today casting some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer replays. Today I've got an awesome one. It's a 4v4 small funds battle. Plenty of subscribers in here, a couple friends, and some people who were really good sports. So we played multiple games. This was the last one I think we played of the day, but it was probably the coolest one. I'm going to be playing as Kalita. I've got just, some standard Bone Boys up in the front, Bone Giant in the back. And guys, it's on the map Wasteland. Let's slow-mo it. I'm not going to go over everything, but there are some things I'd like to talk about before we get started. In a 4v4 small funds, guys, you have to respect your allies' builds. So if someone wants to go a particular build that's like all in on one particular strategy, you've got to support them, right? So I've got our ranged. It's kind of like acting as our artillery. I've got a front line, and I've got High Queen Khalid. Let's go ahead and get the unit cards up as well so we can check things out. You want to strip down as much as you can. But if your ally, for instance, is going to go with Grand Hierophant Katep, he's an expensive investment. He's got lots of spells. He's got a Hyro Titan powering his Winds of Magic. He's going to have so much Winds of Magic, it's crazy. He's probably the biggest game changer in this game. I'll let you know that right off the bat. I've been seeing big things from him. But you got to protect him. You've got to alter your build to protect your allies. Our Beastman player here has got some Gorherd with shields. He's got Morgur for some summons, no doubt. He's got our Vanguard and Cav contingents. He's got 2 Centaurs there, standard Centaurs. He's got another one over here kind of scouting out the waste, making sure there isn't anything coming to flank us. And then our Empire player is rocking Karl Franz. He's got some standard Spearmen chevroned up, and they're going to act as another decent front line for us. We've got a Necrotect here, going to be healing either my Bone Giant, the Hyro Titan. He's got a couple good options. And what else? I could have sworn we had one more thing. We have a caster, Bray Shaman with the Lore of Wild, and that's going to be doing some good AoE damage. We can kind of zoom in, check out the models a little bit. But yeah, he's got, looks like Vile Tide and Bray Scream. So very cheap skills that are going to buff our entire army with Vigor, and you got to love it. And we also have a Jade Wizard for some healing. Not the best when half of your allies are undead. So, there's that. But we're going to make good use of all of our abilities this game. The opponents opposite us going to be the straight up vampire accounts, front line of zombies. Can't blame them. They're going to tar pit units forever in this mode. 2 groups of Cairn Wraiths, weak to magic but high physical resistance against the wrong builds. If we just didn't bring any kind of magic damage, the Cairn Wraiths could run completely unopposed. And Vlad, I took Vlad in one of our earlier battles. Looks like our opponent kind of done messed up. Took every single skill, weapon, spell, that's a ton of gold invested in Vlad. You could drop half of that and just take the invocations and the summons, take your Winds of Magic, regen, and your self-healing, and you probably would have had enough to get like 3 more zombies or something. Like a lot, like maybe 2 more skeletons. We're talking like 600 gold there, I'm sure. So we got the Vampire Coast here. They've got a Carronade in a bit of a wonky position. You definitely want to put them like a bit on the top of a hill. Maybe they're thinking it'll protect them. Some zombie pirate deckhand mobs with pole arms out on the wings. Dire wolves, we talked about them. I've got my Bone Giant here sniping Silastro. That was shot number 1. So the Bone Giant, of course, does magic damage on his missiles. And Silastro, being ethereal, takes increased damage from magic. It completely bypasses her physical resistance. We've got the animated Hulks here acting as a literal anchor for the front line. Going to be mixed in amongst the zombie pirates. They'll hold for quite some time. More Scurvy Dogs here out on the flanks. And then we've got double Lizardmen. So Lizardmen plus Itza. We've got a Kroxigor Ancient, a big bad boy here. They're so tough, and they're so cheap compared to Nakai. They're amazing. Completely stripped down. Not an expensive unit. And with Lord Croak here, gotta be aware of Lord Croak. He's got the Deliverance of Itza. He doesn't have the shield. Interesting. But there are Sacred Kroxigors here. They punch way above their weight class. Magic damage, armor piercing, weapon strength, like through the roof. They're a brutal unit, and you want to snipe them if you can. And then I like the inclusion of the skate cohorts with javelins as well, because that's going to give you some range just in case there's flying units. You'll see here Karl Franz is looking to snipe somebody out. And I don't know if they've already scouted the Centaurs. Probably so. 2 more skate cohorts there. Another Sacred Kroxigor. So they've kind of like doubled up their build. And instead of the very expensive Lord Croak, they took the Skink Priest with the Lore of Beast, and he's doing the 2-step trying to get out from behind these guys. But he's got Flock of Doom and the Curse of Onrare. I like this a lot. Flock of Doom is a very efficient spell, you know, in blob fights, especially against our particular races. And then Gor-Rok, the Great White Lizard. Check him out with his shield. I still wish he was a little bigger. I know that's maybe a little strange. I wish he was a little bit bigger, perhaps a little bit different on the color, but I'm willing to overlook it. But whereas the other Lizardman player didn't take any abilities, the Rock of Itza I think is too good not to bring. Stand Your Ground is probably too good not to bring. And Mace of Ulamok makes him an incredibly dangerous melee fighter. But where he saved on Lord Croak, he was able to get his caster and also get his abilities on Gor-Rok and bring in a Feral Bastiladon. So good choice. Going to cause terror, not really relevant versus our undead factions, but could be great versus our Empire player. So good play here. I'm doing the same thing, guys. I'm moving my Spearman to aid our Empire Spearman. Let's go ahead and speed it up. You'll see here the heavy artillery barrage coming forth from Grand Hierophant Katep. We're going to be attempting to snipe out Silastra if we can, but she's pretty resilient. I'm looking to screen out these direwolves. I don't really have the speed to do it, though. I was hoping my opponent was lapsing in micro, but he just didn't seem to be. And beautiful, tight magic damage. And I say tight because the AoE on that has been grouped up. It's more like a shotgun now and less like a scatter shot. And when it hits, it does a lot of damage. Miscast there, no doubt, from the Bray Screamin'. The Bray Screamin'. The Screamin', no, can't turn it into a clever phrase. But we're going to be able to hold here. Morgar's going to be fighting the Kroxigor Ancient. Let's slow-mo this. Let's K-mo this. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've got a cast here from Silastra using that Lure of the Depths. We're also extremely worried because there is a Deliverance going off. Shim's Burning Gaze is going to be smacking Silastra, doing huge damage. So the Hydro Titan, for those of you who don't know, they have Spirit Leech and Shim's Burning Gauge. That's two magic abilities that work perfect versus Silastra. If I think my opponent's going to take Silastra and I'm playing the Tomb Kings, I will 100% take that Hydro Titan. But here's the Deliverance. It's going off. I pulled some of my units back. You'll see here my Skeleton Spearmen are making it out. It looks like they're in there, but you see they're not losing any health. It's really just the Gore Herds that are taking this beating. The Empire Spearmen here have managed to get in and amongst these Sacred Kroxigors, while my other Spearmen went up and around. And we're not going to take that much damage from all these spells, despite the power of them. And it looks like... oh, is that going to be another Spirit Leech? It is. So her HP is just going to be dropping. Here come the damn Knight Errants. They're going to be getting into our back line. But the Hydro Titan Necrotech is a pretty good 1-2 punch. Skull Storm going off, not hitting anything, sadly. Damn Knight Errants. I'm going to be turning my spears around to stop their charge. And yeah, the Hydro Titan Necrotech getting in there, stomping infantry. I'm going to be trying to use Khalida to do whatever kind of damage I can. But this is kind of like my big play here. So what I'm doing right now is pushing in Khalida. I'm trying to get her as deep into this melee blob as possible. They're Cairn Wraiths, 2 units of zombies, not the most high value targets. I'm mostly concerned about these Cairn Wraiths. Let's look at her right now. She's got 16 kills. Curse of Years. This is what really screwed me. Vlad cast the Curse of Years onto the Bray Shaman, so he wasn't able to cast any spells, but it caught Khalida as well. So it reset my cooldown. She's looking to do some stuff here. And I am trying to use Venom Wave. It's a huge explosion that is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage in an AoE. I've also got the Venom Staff as a bit of a magic missile, which I was hoping to get onto Silastra at some point here. But I was never really quite able to. Rotting Promethean summons going off from Silastra. Trying to tie down the back line. There's Centaurs back here running wild. Of course the Carronade went offline quickly. We've got... man, there's so much going on. Gor-Rok is rushing to get into this fight. The Skinks are just going to be throwing all their javelins before they get in, but the Spearmen did a great job holding. Meanwhile, my Bone Giant is just shooting at whatever they can. Skull Storm going off into the chaff units. Doesn't look like it connected very well. But Grand Hierophant Katep alone on this hill up to 183 kills and climbing. Double Skull Storm on him in a 4v4 is brutal. And the best thing about the Bone Giant is that he's putting pressure. Gaze him to Gash going off, but a swing and a miss there. And yeah, oh man, did I miss it? I missed it. I got like 70 kills off of that Venom Wave. That sucks. But that's going to break up these units just enough for the Centaurs to come in, get a rear charge, and we can totally break this flank. and overwhelm it. And then we'll really have dominance over the back line. Kalita will be free to go wherever she would like. Can't believe I missed that. I suck. I suck so bad, guys. Let's get into slow motion here, because this is a huge pit fight, right? Kroxigor Ancient, Feral Bastiladon. The only things really holding them back, we've got Morgar and Carl. You know, Chaos Spawn, of course, are helping. Let's see how many kills they have right now. 8. And we're inundating them with as many cheap Spearman units as we can. I'm kind of throwing them in one by one in whatever area I can. But at some point, I'm going to have to bring these Skeleton Warriors out to help as well. Lord Croak is still in great condition. Good fire coming in from Hierophant Kotep. I've switched my Bone Giant because my opponent was microing Silastra behind these hills, and I wasn't able to get a good shot. Another beautiful Skull Storm. Look at the kills. That's killing all skinks, of course. It's not really killing, you know, Kroxigors or anything like that. That's not what it's meant to do. And at some point here, you know, his 300 kills. His missiles are going to sometimes become a hindrance whenever you're firing into a blob. And my Bone Giant is just shooting at whatever he can hit. I thought, man, if I could kill a couple of these Sacred Kroxigors, and you see he gets a nice punch in the face there. High Queen Kalita, trying to get on Silastra, but that's a bit of a lost cause. I was hoping I could get a nice pick, but then the Karen Wraiths come in, and I'm trying to set up another one of those Venom Waves. Do even more damage, more Rotting Prometheans coming in. The balance of power here is so inflated due to the summons. Deliverance of Itza is going to go off on our Spearmen. And that kills a lot of guys. It kills a lot of zombies too. You can see a lot of them are crumbling. It looked like that was mostly us there. And there was my Venom Wave, I think. Yeah, I'm up to 143 kills. I just used it again. But I think it looked like that was mostly our Spearmen. But it was a nice mix of zombies and stuff. My Venom... Man, what is that ability called? Envenom? Strike? Something like that. I tried to use it on Silastra here, but it got caught up on the terrain and didn't do any damage. But I think if I had hit her square, I probably would have killed her there. These Prometheans are going on to Grand Hierophant Kotep. We've got to protect him. He's up to 448 kills. Thanks to another Skull Storm on zombies. The enemy hero core still kind of going strong. Kroxigor Ancient and Gor-Rok's barely taking any damage. Gor-Rok was committed way too late to the party, in all honesty. He should have been in that melee blob or trying to circumvent the melee blob to get into the back and do some work. Healing, probably exclusively regrowths on Karl Franz. You'll see here he's still at great health despite being in the fight the entire time. He's got Galmaraz, so he's going to be able to do some serious anti-large damage. Whatever he charges on will die, I'm sure. I brought back my Skeleton Warriors to protect Kotep from these Rotting Prometheans, but they ended up dissolving and crumbling before they could get there. My other group here is just fighting these zombies. Skeleton Warriors up to 207 kills. What a crazy thing that is. And every time the Hierophant or the Hyro Titan gets low, the Necrotech pops a restore and brings his HP back. Now the Hyro Titan, I think I pointed this out in Discord to my buddy. I said the Hyro Titan has melee damage that does magic. Get him onto Silastra and you really got something. That'll take her down pretty much instantly. And somehow our Beastman ally, Morgar takes a beating, but he's got regeneration. He'll come back. But somehow our allies managed to keep all of these Centaurs alive into the late game. They're a very squishy and fragile unit. And at this point, I mean, their late game charges are just shattering our opponents. Another Skull Storm. 544 kills. Ridiculous stuff. We've got Karl Franz dueling here, taking out the Skink Priest. Meanwhile, Gor-Rok is caught in amongst these Spearmen. He's not considered a large target, so no bonuses for the Spearmen there. Centaurs fighting Sacred Kroxigors. They're just too beat up at this point. They can't hang anymore. So much casting. Really unbelievable. And this Ancient Kroxigor is going to get in there. He does his whirligig attack. And let's see if he gets any more attacks off with his cool animations before it's all over. And yeah, at this point, I think I was telling my buddy to stop shooting, because all they have is single target entities left. And that AoE fire will definitely kill our Centaurs. Not that it matters. I mean, the battle is pretty much over. I'm still trying to snipe out Silastra. I think that was one of my last shots. Yeah, I have one more shot left on her. Kalita up to 209 kills. She was also kind of a silent MVP this battle. And she's going to go here and battle Gor-Rok, which was a pretty sweet fight. One which I was destined to lose. Let's go ahead and slow-mo this. Oh man, a gaze in the gash. Remember, Vlad is still here, guys. Only 7 kills. I wonder where he was that whole fight. Who was he hitting? I don't know. But he went for a Gaze of Nagash, and I think he killed a couple Synagors, sure. But he probably, I mean, I would be surprised if he hit Silastra with that. Which, I mean, that could have been game ending, because what they have here are 3 of, like, the tankiest heroes in the game. Like, infinite regen plus the biggest ward save there is, like a 90% ward save. You've got her having 75% physical resistance, and Gor-Rok has, like, super armor and, you know, tons of physical resistance and melee attack. So when he popped his Mace of Ulamog, Stand Your Ground, he was just a beast, and he was killing me. But a little bit of teamwork here, and we'll see. I'm going to get from Hierophant Kotep somehow still has Winds of Magic. And he's going to cast and overcast it, I think. Yeah, there it is. Neru's Incantation. So that gives me some physical resistance. At this point, I was running. And he told me, hey, man, get back in the fight. You can do this. So I'm going to turn and get like a nice charge. We're going to poison him. There we go. It doesn't do a ton of damage to use my my wave there. But it did spread the poison. And with a little help from my spearmen, from my ally and my skeleton warriors, we're going to be able to take down Gor-Rok, I think. Vlad is still an absolute monster. I mean, he nowhere near his regen cap. Hyro Titan, oh man, this was a cool moment as well. The Hyro Titan and the Bone Giant are beating down what's left of these animated Hulks, who, to their credit, were in the fight for quite some time. But there was a really cool moment in this battle that I want to show you guys. Gor-Rok is broken off. He's got 186 HP. Maybe these Centaurs will come and finish him. I was going to try and take him out with Khalida, but we need to put all of our DPS that we can onto Vlad. Even like Morgr, he's got his regen. He still has a little bit of HP that he can recover, but 1 or 2 attacks from Vlad will break or shatter him. And it's probably, you know, without a doubt what he's trying to attack. Look over the horizon, guys. Centaur's charging in. It's basically just Vlad left, but look who's coming. Oh, poor Lord Croak. No, his shattered, unanimated husk of a body. Vlad's casting something. Summoning some more zombies to help absorb damage around himself. But the Bone Giant and the Hyro Titan are here. Carl Franz with Gall Mirage looking to take him out. I've got High Queen Khalida's going to be snaking in and amongst the battle. Bone Giant just punching zombies left and right. Morgr using that pimp claw. Smacking dudes around. There's Khalida. And at this point, of course, this is all just for fun. Lore of Life caster in the mix. But we've got to kill Vlad. He's borderline unbreakable in these types of fights. You get huge like leadership bonuses in these modes. So one thing that I noticed that was interesting was that after everything, I didn't lose enough units to trigger my Realm of Souls proc. So I could have had Ushabti in this battle as well if I had just lost a few more skeletons, which I didn't, you know. So is that a good thing? Yeah. I mean, ultimately I didn't lose all my units, which is good. But guys, that was crazy fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the armies and how they did. My skeletons held up admirably versus zombies, of course. The Bone Giant ended up, I think, collecting his value. We weren't able to snipe out Silastra to make her a non-issue in the game, but we did force a lot of micro from our opponent, and sometimes that's quite valuable. And early clever plays with Khalida, you know, getting that Venomous Wave, destroying all those Karn wraiths, I thought was a good strategy as well. Carl Franz, absolute destroyer this game. Not a lot of kills, but that's because he was doing the dirty work of going after high-value targets and using the Jade Wizard to keep him alive and using his Spearmen to really hold our flanks so that Triari, with only 3 units, could do this much devastating damage with good old Kotep, a unit that routinely, or a lord that routinely gets overlooked. Love the synergies in these units. If you got to bring 3 units, there's very few more synergistic units than those. And then, of course, our Beastman ally, his Gore Herd, got no kills. They got smashed on the Rock of Lizardmen armor and power, but they took a lot of damage for us, and ultimately the Centaur Micro was what we needed. Running down Skinks, making sure they don't return to the battlefield. Bray Shaman, you know, despite a few miscasts in the beginning, ultimately got his stuff together and got lots and lots of zombie kills. And Morgr, once again, tanked the damage for us. Carl Franz did it. Morgr tanked it. Opponents here got some decent damage done with these Scurvy Dogs. Animated Hulk's a unit you don't get to see very often. Losing their Carronade early was a huge blow. I mean, very easily could have sniped out my Bone Giant had they been firing on that for the entire battle. Bone Giants are not that armored as you would like them to be, and they can go down pretty easy to some concentrated Carronade fire. Vlad perhaps misused this battle. Should have been in the front lines just grinding out infantry. He can kill hundreds of infantry in a battle like this. It doesn't really matter what their quality is. He has good weapon strength. And these Karn rates perhaps needed to be tucked behind maybe the Lizardmen lines. Deploy a bit more with the Lizardmen. Let them take the beating. And bring in the Karn rates when everything that can destroy them or oppose them is swept from the battlefield already. That would be like my 2 cents. Great play here. Croak. I always say Croak or Croak. Just Croak. He's a frog. He did well. 190 kills. I mean, he obliterated entire units, but ultimately just did not have enough protection. And then Gor-Rok got into the battle a little too late. I think this army needed to be either a reinforcing army to the undead, or to go completely around and get into our back line, or push through the cracks in the formations. Gor-Rok could have probably just ran right past everything we had in that little choke point and gone straight for Katep. And this game, I mean, imagine if Katep had been stopped at the time when he had about 200 kills. If Gor-Rok would have just got onto him with the Mace of Ulamak and beat him down, that would have been something. I didn't see a lot of casting going off from the Skink Priest. I'm assuming, though, that they did some pretty solid Flocks of Doom. Probably really helped to beat up the Empire infantry, I would imagine. And almost identical kills on the Sacred Kroxigors. That's pretty neat. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Goodtalk Gaming. Thanks a ton to everybody who played. Thanks to all the subscribers. You guys all played really well. You never know what's going to happen in a 4v4. So a mistake in this game, or a perceived mistake, it's super easy to make when you're playing in a 4v4. It's hard to always know what the right thing is to do when there's so many variables on a battlefield at any given time. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. If you are watching this right now and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I'm a small YouTube channel. Every subscription helps. I have a great Discord channel, which a lot of these gentlemen here playing are a part of. And we're all really always looking to play. So if you're looking for an active community, I know there are bigger YouTubers out there with Discord channels. But if you're looking for a friendly, almost a guaranteed friendly community to come and learn and play with, we're a good group of guys. So, all right, y'all. Without any further ado, take care. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Later.